forgot to film, but I got this one cut, and I got the parking lot sprayed. I got my rock sprayed over there. Just forgot to record, and yeah, it's cold, and my hands are freezing. I had to put my gloves on because I'm a little puny right now. But that's one of hopefully 8 or 9 done today. I also sprayed the ditch and then this little rock line here. All right, there's another one down. I'm in the truck because we're under wind advisory. It's like, it just won't stop. The wind will not stop. That's why there's leaves everywhere. But got this one cut down to 2 inches. You can kind of see in the background there, the other lawn's super tall and uncut next to it. So there's still a lot of grassy weeds. I haven't put anything down for that yet because the the product for that, you have to mix basically to spray 43,000 square feet, right? So we're gonna basically do all of our grassy weed treatments at the same time because of the nature of that product, and that'll come. I'll probably do fertilizer at the end of March and then start doing that in the beginning of April. Thing about it is we're just starting to get back into spraying, and I don't have enough right off the rip to mix that full bottle of chemical and you know, do it that way. So we'll wait until April. It's kind of a weird, like, off-kilter way to do that, but it's just sort of what's going to work for me this year. All right, so patience is such a big deal in the spring. Okay, here's the thing. There's a lot going on right now. When it's March, okay, there's a lot going on right now, and the thing is in an ideal world, when I reach out to everyone in February, it would be so great if they would all respond and let me go ahead and start working in February, because there's a lot of stuff pre-emergent needs to go down in February, right? Because we do warm season turf, okay? I can't get people for whatever reason to respond in February because it's cold, all right? And then we get our 2 weeks of a little bit of warm weather in March, and then the phones all of a sudden ring, 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 ring. And people are like, give me fertilizer, give me fertilizer, give me fertilizer. But here's the deal. Yes, we have 2 weeks of like 80-degree weather, okay, here in March. You know, late February, March, right? And the thing about it today is, check it out. I'm doubled up on jackets right now. It is 40 degrees. I got sunburnt yesterday, okay? And we got 4 straight days of 20-degree lows coming up. So if I had went out when everybody said all at once, you know, come, give me fertilizer, and then pushed all that growth on these Bermuda yards, and we get this 4 days of frost, your green up goes from being nice and quick and on time to probably delayed at least a couple weeks, probably a month. I've seen Bermuda get delayed through probably May, which is crazy because it should be relatively green around here. Like the second week of April, you should have a pretty decent amount of green. So it's so important to be patient in the spring because we always get this extra frost. But also, you know, fertilizer we want to do at the end of March so that we can go into April, get a little bit of a green up. Fertilizing shrubs, it's the same thing. You don't want to push growth before that frost, that last little sneaky Georgia frost hits, right? Because it's gonna, all that little baby growth is gonna get burnt and damaged from the frost, right? It happened a couple years ago. We got a weird frost in like the second week of April, and it did a number on our hedges. I mean, it hurt them. So don't think just because you get a little bit of warmth that you can immediately go and start fertilizing and running chemicals and stuff, because you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. But also on top of all that, I use March to get all of my mulch, my first cuts, my winter cleanup or spring cleanups done. And these are all services that take a long time in comparison to your regular mowing visits. Your maintenance mowing visits are pretty good, like quick in and out, not mow and go, because I do a lot more than that on a week-to-week basis. But your cleanups take a lot longer, your landscapes take a lot longer, and if I can get 75% of those landscape cleanups and lawn cleanups from the winter mess done by the end of March, then we're set for a really good lawn season after that. And then as the new customers roll in April, May, I could just add them willy-nilly, right? That's why I always try to reach out to my customers in February, whether it be by text or call or mail, and say, hey, get us on schedule. Let's go. Let's get rolling. Let's do what we can, so that I'm not having to do that stuff that I could do in February also in March on top of the other things I need to be doing in March. So it really helps me to pace out myself and my schedule so that I can make sure that all my regulars are done and taken care of and tidy and ready for the year. And then all my new folks, it's like I'm a magician. I can just immediately jump and go do their property, even though it's the heat of the growing season, right? That's the way we've been doing it for a long time. But the main difficulty there is, I want to get started sooner, okay, at a reasonable pace, whereas most people just wait till they feel warm and then they're like, do it now, go, 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 go. It just, it's better if you're patient. If you're going to wait until March, you got to be patient. Or if you don't want to be patient, be really not patient, and let's get started in February, right? So that we can pace this stuff out at a reasonable rate. Just my 2 cents on, getting started. And then things like, there's a lot of these guys that put out their mulch and their pine straw in early February. You see this all over the city. All these little city properties have mulch and pine straw in early February. Well, mulch especially, we've got rain season coming, right? It's going to rain on that mulch. It's going to beat it down. It's going to wash it out. It's going to lose its color, because mulch loses its color super quick. And then by the time the grass is actually green and pretty in April, that mulch is already going to be faded. So why are we rushing to get all this mulch out only for it to look horrible by the time the season is actually here and you want things to look nice and pretty? Timing is so important with this stuff, especially if you're getting lawn treatments and stuff. I hate putting out mulch too early, just because, like, just in general, mulch is going to lose its color super quick in relation to, or in comparison to pine straw, for example, which pine straw you can kind of get away with. But I don't know, just be patient with certain things, and then if you don't want to be patient, then really don't be patient, and let's get going in February when I can pace things out. But all right, let me know what you think. That's just my 2 cents on starting up the season a little bit too early for some people, because a lot of folks just jump the gun and they want things all at once. So just a couple little thoughts there.
Alright, so here we are on a returning customer. That's right, they did not use my services for a couple years there, and now here we are back for a little cleanup here in March. You'll notice I'm using a trimmer on this for the first half, because the entire front section there was just totally saturated. Like, I was sinking into it. We did just today as I record this in April. We just finished up a big cleanup. Today's April 16th as I do the voiceover. And we did a big old landscape cleanup in the backyard. You'll see that in the next 5 or 6 videos. I don't know how this is going to shake out editing wise, but here I am trimming it. First little cleanup. Little zoom in here for you. Wonderful camera angles as always, as you've come to expect from this channel. And yeah, really straightforward yard, perfect for what I want to be doing. Just a small little cookie cutter yard, something that you can push mow and have it look just as good as any zero turn you come across, right? And honestly, maybe not do it as quickly, but do it quick enough to justify not necessarily needing a full commercial setup, you know what I mean? But yeah, this one's great. Really like it. It's in the middle of town, really easy to get to on the way to others. But there it is, and now we're on to another one that we've done, I don't know, 1,000,000 times before. This one is another pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It is also completely and utterly saturated. You can see water on the concrete that is just pulled up on the concrete. So there's no like runoff situation, like it's that saturated, right? There's nowhere for it to run off to. So what I'm going to talk about here in a minute in the video itself is just the rutting situation. Sometimes there's just not an option, and you'll see that coming up here in just a minute.
All right, so just slipped. So the way this always goes is for the first like 2 months, 3 months of the year, from like here over, totally saturated. It's good to get tracked up, be ugly, but I've got to mow it, right?
All right, and so this right here, y'all, is the section that I rutted up, and you should be able to tell the portion that I'm mowing here for the perimeter pass is plenty dry, and you'll see me in a minute come over the hill. Look at the deck, not even touch the ground. That's kind of what kind of hill we got there. But you can see it's dry up until I hit this turn, and then there's your ruts right there. You can kind of see it. And then I'm trying to not really go in a pattern. I'm just trying to see how close can I get? You know what I mean? Because it's honestly different every single time here. And so far, no ruts. Good to go, good to go. I'm going to go back in and test it one more time, and I think I found it. And yep, so right here I found it, and I'm going to go make a kind of normal pattern. And that right there is where your ruts start. And now, the thing with a rut, okay, 9 times out of 10, the mark is worse than the actual rut itself, right? And the mark is just mud on your tires. It tracks it up. The other effect is the grass itself just getting matted down. So the part I'm on right there is a little bit of a rut, but the part I'm on now, the camera falls, but that last little bit is just the grass matting down, and you'll hear me talk about that in the video itself.
Oh no, you fell in the mud. All right. So it's windy, hopefully you can hear me, but there it is, all rutted up. Now here's the deal, these ruts are not huge. They're there, they're not ideal, but like that's sort of the limit, you know. I don't want that to be there. Obviously didn't want to you know, leave that mark. But this rut, you can really barely see it, and it's not, there's not a ton of mud on the tire making a track, right? Like that spot, right? It's just matted the grass down, okay? And it is temporary. I would imagine either by the end of today or the end of tomorrow, you're not gonna see 90% of what you see now, okay? That's just the reality of it. And it really depends on the customer if you can get away with this or not. Certain places you just have to say, look, I got to skip because of your water issue, or if the mower is going to get stuck and you know it, obviously don't mow it. That's why I didn't mow here, because I know this is all soft mush. And yeah, that's the way that goes. And you know, I'm not like a purist, you know, where it's like no ruts under any circumstances. You know, the alternative to this is that we just don't mow it for the next 2 months, okay? And then you have to think about that. How's that going to look? You say the ruts look bad, okay, sure, even though they're going to be gone by the end of the day, okay? But if I didn't mow this and we just left it for 2 months, you're going to have a jungle over here. And then when I do cut it, we're going to take way too much off. It's going to brown up. You know, it's March now, so it's going to be May. It might even be too hot to do that, to take that much off. So it's trade-offs, man. You gotta figure out what's worth it and what's not.
All right, and that is exactly right. Trade-offs and assessing which options you should take and which options you should avoid. Those are the things that kind of make you, or they make you a professional or not. And even professionals with all the experience in the world are going to screw things up, right? Certain places you can just make a mess. As long as you came and you cut, you're on schedule, that's fine. And it's such a mixed bag. You kind of have to know how to read the customer and the situation, right? Here, I think they're fine just as long as the grass is short and not a mess all the time, right? Certain customers would not want a single tire track on their property, and if you left one, you would get an immediate call. I lost a customer last year because I made a judgment call, and I said, you know what, 99% of this lawn is fine except for the one little weird wet spot. I want to do my best to go around it, and it wasn't good enough for him, you know, and that's the gamble, right? The alternative, though, is that I just don't mow it, and he got out there himself and push mowed it like he would do sometimes, and then I lose the income, and it doesn't look good anyway because those tiny push mower tracks track up all the same, right? And it's a thing of like, well, you didn't do it, and then he would always get passive aggressive. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to learn how to read these customers, and sometimes you just can't. You know, he wouldn't have been happy if I didn't do it or if I did.
Not too shabby. Let's take a look in the sun at my ruts. What do you think, guys? You gonna fire me for my ruts? All right, let's go check on these ruts over here. See how they're looking before we even leave the property. What do you think, guys? Future Aaron, go ahead and edit in what they looked like before just a few minutes ago so that we can flip back. There you go. There you go. Look at that. That's the day. I went ahead and got that one blown off. I guess I forgot. Something in my brain forgot that I left quite a bit later today because it was 30 degrees and super windy out. And everything was drenched, so I didn't leave until about 11:30 or so. Didn't get done nearly as much as I wanted to. Thankfully, I only had one person that I told I was going to come today, and I didn't get to go. So smoothing things over with one person, it's not that bad. And another part of what's taken so long today is it's still like I say, the week of cleanups, right? Getting rid of sticks, getting rid of trash, getting rid of, overgrown edges. A lot of properties just didn't get anything done at all January and February, right? Um, or December for that matter. So it's a lot of cleanup, a lot of extra time spent on each property. Um, the general goal is that next week we can load up on pine straw. Hopefully I'm going to be feeling tip top compared to this week where I'm feeling about 75% of the way here, right? And hopefully next week we can get out and just tear up some landscapes. I'm going to try to run some more interviews for guys to work with me this weekend. I had 3 on Saturday. 2 did not show up. One said he showed up, but he said he was at the other, I was trying to meet at a certain restaurant, and he said he went to the wrong one. So I'm like, well, all right, sorry about it. Like, and maybe that's too dickish of me, right? Like, should I have just been like, oh yeah, okay, I'll wait 30 minutes, come to this one, Like, should I have done that? Or, like, part of the whole thing is, like, following instructions, right? And if you go to the wrong spot, you haven't really followed instructions, have you? Man, this guy's going slow. All right. But, yeah, I'm going to set up a couple more interviews this weekend and hopefully get one guy who can help me out next week when I'm doing my pine straw stuff. I had to turn down a big commercial offer because I don't have the labor for it. I need like 3 guys, me and 2 others, to basically be able to comfortably mow that, because it was 2 locations and it's right down the road from where I live. Like, genuinely, they've been in the videos because I'm always there, right? It's a gas station, okay? And basically I got an offer to mow them, and I just can't do it. I just can't do it because I'm looking at it, and even with the 60-inch, we're probably looking at 2 or 3 hours and each, and then all the landscaping on top of that. And I just got rid of a bunch of these properties that are taking 3 hours to do, and I'm really enjoying just hitting these smaller lots with this smaller setup. Like, it feels really nice to be able to just blow through these things, right? Turn down that one due to labor. I'm probably going to call another commercial contract from last year and cancel with them for the same reason. Just don't want to do it alone. It's fully fenced in, hilly, there's a gate, I have to get in and out. It's just it just sucks to do it alone, because you have to make multiple trips back and forth and all that kind of stuff. It's just not an ideal setup. And it's for a better man, okay? We'll leave it that way. Right? So yeah, and I think just if I double down on these little small properties this year, I feel like we can make some crazy money, man. Getting some tighter routes and stuff. And like I say, if I get all my landscapes done by the end of March, like I'm hoping, don't know if that'll happen, but if it does, holy cow, I can go in April and just start mowing. I can go in the first week of April, get all of my annual flower beds put together, because that's when I do those. And then the rest of the year, we're just chilling, buzzing over some lawns, right? Putting out a little bit of fertilizer here and there. We'll aerate in May, because warm season turf. And then we're just kind of chilling, mowing lawns. Like, that's crazy. That sounds like a good year to me.